Hello friends, again I am here today with the model answer of a studies question. As you know, studies question was from socio-political philosophy. So we will be answering first, discussing the answer, model answer for that. And then today again we will take up one question from Western philosophy, which we will be answering tomorrow. So now let us see what was the question yesterday and how it can be answered. See, the question which was given yesterday was, distinguish between formal and substantive equality in the context of affirmative action. So this needs to be answered in about 300 words. As I told earlier also, we are preparing for 20 marks question. However, you should be having the adaptability to make it 15 marks or 10 marks depending on the examination conditions. So we'll try here to answer about in 300 words. So we will first define what is formal equality, then what is substantive equality, and how one differs with each. And then we have to also explain what is affirmative action and how all the three are related in a way that true justice occurs in the society. So, in the whole process, we will try to give the examples, we will try to quote some philosophers, some thinkers, their views, and also some documents, particularly Indian Constitution, etc. All those things we will try to quote and then strengthen our answer. So now let us start. So first paragraph, as you see, defines what is equality, formal equality, and substantive equality, and how. Because the whole all the three topics are introduced in that. So equality, a cornerstone of democratic justice, is interpreted through two broad frameworks. First is formal equality, and second is substantive equality. This distinction is central to the debate on affirmative action, particularly in a socially stratified societies like India. So, see, some very important words have been used, which you have to use in the actual answer also. One is democratic justice, if you see, then formal and substantive equality anyway is there, then affirmative action, and then socially stratified societies like India. So, equality has two frameworks, formal and substantive. And this distinction is central to the debate of affirmative action. So, this also is very important. And then, particularly in the Indian context, where the society is socially stratified, this is very important. Now, what is formal equality? Formal equality ensures that laws apply identically to all, regardless of social or economic context. It is grounded in Article 14 of Indian Constitution. So here we are mentioning Article 14, which is right to equality, and reflects in liberal principles of neutrality and non-discrimination. So actually, right to equality, formal equality means neutrality and non-discrimination, and it is mentioned very clearly in Article 14 of Indian Constitution, which is one of the fundamental rights as well. However, John Rawls argues in Theory of Justice that equal legal treatment in a structurally unequal society only entrenches disadvantage unless corrective mechanisms are built in. So, justice principle of John Rawls is very important. He supports the corrective measures in an unequal society because then only justice can be ensured. So, we are bringing the political philosopher John Rawls along with his theory to explain how in unequal society certain interventions may be required, which is actually affirmative action. Now, next we will see that. Substantive equality, in contrast, recognizes that real justice may require differentiated treatment. So, again, this is important, differentiated treatment to address historic injustice, social exclusion, and unequal access to opportunities. Historic injustice, social exclusion, and unequal access to opportunities. This vision is operationalized through, now again we are quoting Indian Constitution, and that too again fundamental rights. Articles 15.4, 15.5, and 16.4. which permit affirmative action for SCs, STs, and OBCs. So these are the articles which permit reservations for these marginalized and socially excluded communities. Now, we are quoting some Supreme Court judgments also, because once you go through Constitution, definitely there will be on some articles, there will be some judgments. So relevant judgments, some 2-3 judgments also we are quoting in next paragraph, that just to strengthen our answer. So in Indra Sahni versus Union of India in 1992, this is one very important case. Supreme Court affirmed that equality means treating unequals unequally. So this is treating unequals unequally, and upheld reservations under 16(4). Further, in M. Nagaraju case in 2006 and Ashok Kumar Thakur case in 2008, the court introduced constitutional safeguards such as the requirement of quantifiable data to balance substantive equality with administrative efficiency. So basically, court allowed, but then some safeguards were introduced so that this substantive equality cannot be misused by administrative inefficiency. Now, we are again quoting another philosopher. Amartya Sen supports capability approach, arguing that mere formal access does not ensure effective participation, and actually capabilities of individuals should be built either with training or with education or with health. So long-term sustainable benefit can occur to individuals. This is our Sen philosophy, capability approach. Ronald Dworkin, another philosopher, similarly distinguishes between equal treatment and treatment as equals, advocating resource redistribution to ensure dignity and opportunity. So you see two words. One is equal treatment, other is treatment as equals. So he believes is treatment as equals, advocating resource distribution to ensure dignity and opportunity. Now let us critically evaluate the whole concept. While substantive equality enables justice in unequal contexts, it faces key criticisms. What are the criticisms for substantive equality? Opponents argue that it may undermine meritocracy, fuel identity politics, and lead to reverse discrimination. So this is the criticism for substantive equality, particularly against economically disadvantaged groups outside reserve categories. Concerns also arise about perpetuating dependency rather than fostering empowerment. So these are criticisms of substantive equality. However, judicial interventions like Jarnail Singh versus Lakshminarayan Gupta have sought to refine the creamy layer doctrine to ensure internal equity within the beneficiary groups, showing the need for constant recalibration of affirmative measures. So basically, these are some safeguards or issues pertaining to substantive equality, which critics do point out from time to time. And then courts also keep on introducing various safeguards so that real benefit reaches to real beneficiary. So this is the substantive equality critical evaluation. Yet, in a caste and class stratified society, purely formal equality remains insufficient. So the conclusion is that substantial equality is anyway required because formal equality remains insufficient. However, substantive equality needs some few safeguards so that real beneficiaries are targeted, and there is no diversion, there is no other basically misrepresentation, use of the whole scheme or the whole provisions which substantive equality permits as per the even Constitution of India. Now, Justice Chandrachud, he has recently remarked, substantive equality is not an exception to formal equality, it is its fulfillment. So this is an important statement. And as a concluding statement is very important, that substantive equality is not an exception to formal equality. It is its fulfillment, because substantive equality actually is one step ahead in fulfilling the formal equality. Now, in conclusion, we can write formal equality provides a legal baseline. Substantive equality ensures ethical depth. So, this is again very important. Together, they form a dynamic and necessary balance in crafting affirmative action policies that are just, inclusive, and constitutionally sound. So, this completes our model answer for yesterday's question. We have used a number of ethical terms, ethical phrases, a number of codes, constitutional provisions, Supreme Court cases, ethical theories, and all this put together makes answer quite a good, impressive answer. So please do practice like that, and please do remember all these points while writing answers in actual exam as well. Now we'll see what is tomorrow's question. Now, as I told, tomorrow's question will be from Western philosophy. So this is the question. Compare Plato and Aristotle on knowledge and reality. In 300 words, we will try to answer. So compare Plato and Aristotle. As you might have seen, now we are actually trying to cover Plato and Aristotle. So all previous questions, some 3-4 questions were from Plato and Aristotle, and some 1 or 2. Then again, subsequently, we'll move to rationalism, empiricism, and other Western philosophy in other sections also. So at this point of time, we are covering questions from first chapter of each section, first topic. Subsequently, all other topics also will be covered. So this is the question. I will read it once again. Compare Plato and Aristotle on knowledge and reality, and the answer we will be trying to provide tomorrow. So we'll see that answer tomorrow. And thanks a lot for watching the video today. We'll meet again tomorrow for the model answer of the question from Western philosophy. Thanks a lot to all the viewers.